transform building infrastructure and environments to transform business. Hello everyone, and welcome to the first video installment of our energy team here at WB. My name is Patrick Lynch. I'm a project manager and associate with us. Our first video, we're going to start talking about Energy Star. I'm sure many of you guys are familiar with it at this point. It's a program developed by the Environmental Protection Agency and Department of Energy in the United States. In particular, we're going to be talking a lot about Portfolio Manager, which is their energy benchmarking tool through that platform. This is really important because more and more jurisdictions like New York are starting to have local laws that require these scores to be posted, or different items that come from this, and it really gives your building a way to compare itself to others that are similar to it, so you can get these different outputs, which we're going to go into in this video. So I'm going to turn it over to Brian with our team, and he's going to tell you a little bit about what Energy Star provides.
Thanks, Pat. My name is Brian Hellrigel. I'm a project engineer in the Boston office for WB. Energy Star is the industry standard for energy efficiency and information and solutions on energy efficiency. As Pat had mentioned, one of their tools, Portfolio Manager, is used to benchmark similar type buildings' energy efficiency, so they can compare one building to another and how they rank on a scale of 1 to 100. If you're in New York City, I'm sure you've seen Energy Star stickers where this score is published on the sidewalk as you're passing by buildings. I'm going to turn it over to Nick to give you some information on how these scores are calculated.
Hi everyone, I'm Nick Gordon. I'm a project engineer here at WB. So to calculate your score, you're going to need a couple different criteria. So first off, you're going to need at least 50% of your building needs to be one of 21 possible usage types that are eligible to receive a score. Second, into Portfolio Manager, you're going to have to enter in some basic building data. Now, some of this varies depending on your usage type, but some of the basic information would be something such as your gross square footage, number of workers on a main shift, or if you're in something like an office building, the number of computers that are within the building. Lastly, you're going to need information from your energy meter. So that's going to basically summarize all of your energy usage over the period of a year. So ideally, you would have at least 12 consecutive months of data for the energy usage. You can have more, up to 3 years if you want, but a minimum of 12 is required. Once you have all that information, if you meet all that criteria, and as long as your building is one of those 21 usage types, as you can see on your screen now, then your building is eligible to receive a score. Once the inputs are done into Portfolio Manager, your score will be output, and you can use that to post for any local laws or otherwise for how you may need it. And now we're going back to Brian for some standard scores and what you might expect out of your building.
Yeah, so the score is generated using Portfolio Manager, and it comes out on a scale of 1 to 100. As shown in the graphic, you can use this score, and depending on which range you fall in, indicates some different steps that should be taken to improve your energy efficiency. If you receive a score of over 75 or above, you're then Energy Star certified. But as you can see in each category, steps should be taken even if you have a score of 75 or above. There are still things that you can do to improve your efficiency. In New York City, for instance, I know there are different grades for scores, rating A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth. So on that note, I'm going to pass it back to Nick to give you some information where your building should fall on that list.
Thanks, Brian. So based on where your score falls, you can expect your building to be really dependent on what your actual energy usage was. So depending on where your score is, if you are at 75 and above, that's great. That's the target goal for most buildings. Now, depending on your usage types, you may be eligible at this point to receive Energy Star certification. You can see on your screen, there is a table here shown of the eligible property types, and you can see with the check marks as to which ones are not eligible for certification. Realistically, most buildings are certified or capable of being certified, but there are a few in there that you may find yourself within that criteria. Now, if your score is below 75, you may need to start looking into some energy conservation measures. So this can range from various things. For starters, it can be as simple as turning off a light when you leave a room. Now, Portfolio Manager and Energy Star has many resources available to them on their websites that you can use that helps guide you along into finding little things that you can do here and there to start saving some energy. Now, if you find yourself at a score that's around 50 or below, then it might be time to really start looking into some more serious energy saving measures. Now, this can be done by a lot of means. One of the best ways to do it is to perform an energy audit, which is required at a couple-year basis, depending on your jurisdiction. Now, these energy audits can go in and a professional will go in and analyze the equipment in your building, the construction in your building, and your general operations and maintenance. And they can tell you and give you guidance as to what you can do to start either changing out equipment, changing your sequences of operations and operating procedures, and various other ways that either might be low cost or cost intensive to start saving energy within your system. And now we go back to Pat.
Hey, thanks, guys. So that was a brief overview just to kind of introduce everybody to Energy Star and Portfolio Manager. This is going to become a series, and part of this series is we'll go into a little bit more detail of the things that Nick just described, of ways to improve your energy score and overall building efficiency, which could be building audits or looking at different ways of carbon emission reductions. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.